it's hard for me to hear you.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me switch for a second.
The volume button on the
Let
bottom.
me,
Bump that table. Yeah, watch-
here, I'm going to put the recording on now so that we can get started. The weather kind of slowed things up here.
Please enter your PIN followed by pound. Please wait. You are not authorized to start a recording at this time. Please contact customer service if you need assistance.
Okay, Tony, I'm going to disconnect and log back in as a host so that I can get the recording going. Just stay on the line.
Good.
So you can do Largo and then there's the password.
Okay.
You want to get off the internet?
Yeah.
Welcome. This service is provided by freeconferencecall.com. Please enter your access code followed by the pound sign. You entered 570206. If this is correct, press 1. To re-enter your access, there is one other participant in this conference. Please announce yourself.
Hi, Tony, it's Ken again. I'm going to try the code.
Please enter your PIN followed by pound. Please wait. This conference is being recorded.
Okay, we're ready to go. All right, I want to thank everybody for coming out in the weather. This should have blown through by now. Ian and I, that talked working with Sid, and Sid offered to, let us use his space. So I figured it'd get a little bit more personal. We could spend more time on questions and that type of thing. So that was kind of the direction that we wanted to go in with this. We're also videotaping the presentation so that we can kind of critique ourselves, see how this works, and also use it possibly for YouTube and things like that. The tape is in the back facing this way. If anybody has a problem with videotaping and recording, let me know.
I'm the witness protection program, so
All right, then I
don't fuzz
suggest
me out.
don't turn around. So we're going to get started, and I know last night we sent out the program pretty late because we were finishing up a lot of detail on it. So we're going to run through some of the first sessions fairly quickly, which is general overview on notes, because most of us, I feel, have that. We're going to then focus a main part of our time on the actually going through the tapes, cutting the tapes down, getting to the good product, and then actually some of the research to do the quick decisions on which ones are you really serious about. I figured the response back from sending the tape out wasn't that great. We only had a few people respond. So we want to make sure you guys are up on how to do that tape. We went through it in the evening meetings, but we have a limited amount of time, and I was pretty sure that it was hard to follow some of the stuff. So we're going to go through that and really drill in more into that process. Okay? So what I want to do is pause 1 second. Ian Reynolds. Anyway.
He's generously getting the laptop from me to try to borrow.
Oh, okay. So, okay, we're going to start back up, and one of the things I want to ask, was this location work pretty good, pretty easy to get to, parking?
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Better than Virginia.
Better than the going into the Arlington area? Okay.
Not for me.
No,
but
not
Yeah, Virginia, we'll stick to Virginia.
Virginia, okay. Well, we had
Virginia's
to,
great for some of us.
we had to share Maryland because we got Maryland people,
Majority
so we
rule.
got to go
Thank
back
you,
and forth.
Yeah, just this one time.
All right. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump right into the training program and documentation that we sent out. We're gonna run for a while, then we'll take a little break and stuff and stretch. But the first one, some of you saw this document when I first talked to you about notes. And this is the overview, gives you a little explanation of loans, notes, and the advantages just in that of working the note in a little house. This document here is a great, if you're talking to other people about notes, it's a great document. And you have our permission to share this document. The rest of the training material is not to be shared or copied or sent out to other people. But this first one in the series is an overview, it's a good information sheet, and when you're working with other people that want a basic understanding, it's a great cheat sheet to work with. So feel free to use this and get it out there, as long as you leave our name on it. Everyone here, of course, understands the concepts and the advantages. We've been through that. So at this point, does anyone feel we need to go through any of this information?
What's the name of that document, Ken? So I know which
The
one.
file name is, it's called Section 1, Understanding
file.
Notes and Advantages.
Was this from a preliminary or last night?
This was actually something that Ian and I were using to talk to people about notes, and we incorporated it. Yesterday I decided, well, let's incorporate it into the first step of the training.
But did you send it like
It's in your program that I sent last night.
last night?
Yes. It's available for, it went out with the entire training program and put out last night. So you have a copy of it, okay?
CDs.
That's understanding.
As you can see, I'm reasonably well on my
Is that
phone.
right?
If you also notice on this one, there is a, Fortitude has its own logo now. We're getting really fancy.
Yeah, I actually already did on my phone. So yeah, I'll,
So we're excited about that. We're starting to brand ourselves and move it forward. And so Ian kind of did the design on it, and I offered a couple suggestions, and we've got a final, and it looks great. So that's where we're starting with.
All right.
Okay? Actually, at this time, you want to talk about the website for a minute?
Yeah, do we introduce Sid yet or no?
Actually, he was out. I talked
Alright, so-
about how great she was, but I didn't
So,
actually introduce
I
him.
think everybody met Sid.
Yep, I said.
This is his office. I don't know if everybody knows, but we're starting a private money lending business in the metropolitan DC area. And he's gonna be our partner on the private money lending side. So if anybody has deals or anybody knows people that want to invest, we're just going through our attorney time right now. And you can come and talk to us, or you can give Sid a call. Okay?
Do you want to talk about
What are
the
you,
changes?
what is the basic,
Sure.
The
what
rates,
is the basic format for the lending?
Oh,
Hard money rates?
it's just hard money rates. It's gonna be 12 to 15% plus, 3 to 5 points on the back end.
it depends on the experience and, what kind of deal you have, the ARV, the loan to value ratios, all that.
Is it
Location.
acquisition as well as rehab?
Yes.
Okay, because if we have people that are looking for money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I wanna
Absolutely.
know what, and people that are willing to invest money.
We will finalize all the documents and then send them out to everybody so
Yeah.
you guys understand the rates and the terms and the LTVs.
When do you expect to be up and running?
Hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, our whole thing is, there's really only 5 big hard money lenders out in the DMV area. And, we think that there's an opportunity to go in. Their rates are pretty low. They give a lot of their investors 6, 7, 8%. So we're just gonna bump it up to 8, 9, 10%, to sort of get in there and get our names in the game. And then we're also talking to, some bigger investors out of New York that wanna get into the DC area, that might wanna partner up with us. So, our goal is to, right now you only have a few people to go to, ours is to be that new kid on the block and really take over and, be much more aggressive than the guys are out there right now. So, as far as, what's going on with me, I did leave, Gemini in, the middle of December, and I left on good terms with Jack. Basically, I start to get my own product, and I have a lot of connections in New York that I could get product from, and around the country. So I am focused full-time on Fortitude now, and I'm going to be building the business, in the next couple of months. Right now, we have 60 non-performing notes for sale, and we are going to have roughly about 50 performing notes for sale by next week. And I have I'm talking to an investor up in New York that wants to get in. They're an institutional investor that gets their money at obscenely good rates. And they are talking to us about getting into the non-performing flipping business, where they go and buy a $5 or $10 million pool, and we sell it for them. So, a lot of interesting stuff going on. I am going to be talking to some of the more well-known gurus out there. They know I'm getting into the business, and they're excited that there's a new source for them to sell to their students. So that's what's going on with me. Just so you know, all these businesses, anybody in this room could get involved in. We pay commissions on everything with the hard money lending. If you guys bring us an investor or a deal, we'll pay you on it. And obviously with notes, any note you sell, we're going to be sending that out in the next week or two.
This next week, we hope to finish up our program on the
Commission.
for
Yeah.
marketing the notes for us, or bringing us, actually finding resources or bringing notes to us.
Yeah.
There is opportunity on both sides to make income off of that.
Yeah, and we're going to, the first conference we're going to, just as Fortitude, is Paper Source out in Las Vegas on April 24th to the 26th. It should be a good conference. It's going to be notes and seller financing notes. So don't know if anybody's interested in going, but if you are, I'm going to call the guy that owns Paper Source and see if we get a discounted rate of some sort. So.
When is it?
Don't know about that. It's the 24th, April 24th to the 26th. And it's going to be at the Tuscany Hotel and Casino in Vegas, which it's a little bit off
It's off the strip,
the
yeah.
strip,
Yeah,
but it's nice. I mean,
yeah.
for what it is. So as far as website, we are within days of launching our website. Ken's going to pull it up, and we're going to go through it. For some reason, the logo looks twice as big as it usually does, maybe because it's on a bigger screen. But that's our logo. So let's just go through the, let's go down.
Okay. We've
So
got-
this is the most important creative part of me, just to let you guys know. So every picture in here, besides this one picture, which Ken had to push on, every picture of every tab is a different part of Washington, D.C. So that first one, Fortitude Story, click on that. Oh, I guess it's the logo.
Okay, I clicked on the,
Well, I'll show you as we go through. So, Fortitude Investments, just showing you who we are, where we started, what we're doing. You go down to partner bios. Sid's redoing his. It'll be up by early next week. But it just goes through our background, how we're involved in notes.
there's your picture.
Oh, that's the picture. So that's a picture of downtown Bethesda. I don't know if anybody realized that. Not that you would, but it looked nice enough. So we go to what we do. This gives a basic understanding. If you go down. And then underneath that, we're doing each one of our businesses. So Fortitude Investment CNG1 is you guys. Then the mortgage note sales, private money lending, goes through everything. Just as an example, if you go down what we put for this group, go down. It's closed, we're educating, we're going through things. And eventually, the fourth tab of that is going to be education. We're teaching you guys right now probably, 2/3 of what we're going to eventually sell on the open market to investors around the country. So it's another way you guys will be able to make money. For every package that you sell, eventually you'll make 25 or 30% of whatever the profits are. So next one. So this is downtown Alexandria. If anybody knows the Mason Temple there. So that's just note that we're note buyers and sellers. And education, we sort of just put basic definitions that we'll go through today and basic information. And then
This is actually on the website under the overview.
Yeah.
And this is what I told you, showed you first, that this is what we can share with people and use. So that's also on the website.
the one part of this website that we haven't built and we will build very soon is we're gonna have a private section where just people from the group could log in with their own passwords for all the information to do with our group. And then we have our non-disclosure up and our contact, that's Georgetown, I'm sure some people know that.
Yay.
And, just for places that people can put their information. That's another thing, so as we grow and as we market and stuff like that, we're gonna be getting a ton of leads in from people around the country. So if people are interested in selling notes, we'll eventually divide those leads and just give them out to people and let them work those investors around the country. And then we just have our legal disclaimer, which I'm sure you guys really don't care about, but that's just the rules of owning a website. So you could take a look at that some other time. So yeah, that's our website.
So what's the URL?
It's gonna be fortitudellc.com.
Oh, that's not on the internet just yet.
It's not on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to get it, just went through Yahoo Business Services to move our domain name over, so it takes 48 hours.
Get it hosted, so you're getting it hosted at Yahoo?
Yeah, and this is free. By the way, if anybody wants to build a website, Weebly is free. It's 100% free, and it'll host your website for free.
What is it?
Weebly, Weebly, and the only thing you have to do is buy a domain and transfer it over. So you could literally build a whole website professional. I mean, I knew nothing, and I'm retarded when it comes to technology, and I built this
So
whole
you,
thing.
so you built that, you built all that?
Yeah, it took me about a week, maybe. But you could literally, if you just go onto YouTube and put in Weebly instructional, there's like somebody did a 15-minute instructional on the entire thing, and they claim that you get a website done in an hour, which you probably could for a basic website. But it's a great resource. And then if you want to get like the terms and conditions and everything, what is it, Freenet?
Yeah, I'll bring that up. I'm gonna go to the legal disclaimer, it's shorter.
Yeah. So if you're gathering information, there's a lot of laws now, so you'd have to put this stuff up, but you could go to freenetlaw.com and they have all the legal disclaimers for free and stuff like that.
Yeah, when I basically went in, they've got all kinds of legal documentation already set up, and it's all template. So you go in and access it. Their only requirement is that you include their information on your document, that where you got your document from. It's their free advertising. So it was great. Went in, it was like it met our requirements almost 100%. It was just a little tweaking here and there, and we had our documentation we needed.
So with that, I'll let Ken start everything. I'll sit right there.
Okay, we'll bring this down.
Hey, Ian? Sure. Is this a Windows 8 machine?
Yes, I think so.
I am not able to, I'm trying to get to the,
Okay,
Help you?
we've gone through the first section, which I said is public and available, so you guys can use it when you're talking about our program, what you're doing, and those. I'm gonna go over now to the section 1A, note investing, frequently asked questions. Now, all of you have seen this in the documents. This is really more on your time to go through and understand the terms, so the language. Go through this and, so that you know what an allonge is, equity, all this. Most of us are real estate investors, so we have most of the lingo. There's just a couple of terms in there. I'm not gonna spend. The one that I spent, I put a lot of information in again, was that O&E report. which is something, I have a sample that I'll bring up later and we'll talk about.
I just got one very quick thing. Just two other things. So this is important for the group. We have a Twitter account that I set up, which will be part of the website, right? So basically, what we're trying to do is when we're going to send pools out to people for people that want to sell and or buy, we're going to send it to people on Twitter 1 day early. So just sign up for Twitter if you can once the website's launched. And then we're also going to be doing a YouTube channel as well. So every week we're going to do a question of the week. So if you ever have a question about anything, let us know or shoot us an email. And if we choose it, we'll put it up on YouTube and go over that question for the week if there's any problems. So just some other stuff.
Are you doing any blogs?
Yes, we're going to do a blog eventually, and I'll tell you why. Because if you want to do SEO marketing for your website, they only care about keywords. So I will, once we launch it, start writing a weekly or bi-weekly blog. Maybe if we can't answer the questions on YouTube, we'll just answer them on the blog. So, good question.
One thing on this, when we send out the tapes and everything, those tapes can only go to somebody that signed a non-disclosure agreement with us. So if you have other investors that might be interested and you want to show the document, please make sure before you share that information that they have signed a non-disclosure and sent it to us. A person's name is protected under the privacy laws. So that tape, just giving them the name and an address on a person is a privacy issue. The fact that these tapes show people are delinquent on their mortgages is a serious privacy issue. So we want that's not public knowledge to be bounced around. So anybody interested in it, say that, please make sure that they drop a non-disclosure down on us. We will only send these tapes out of our source with people that have already signed. Okay. All right. The O&E report, I spent a lot of time on that. Make sure you understand it. This document is gold. When you're ready to buy and you negotiate a price and you request an O&E report, it is really going to give you the detail on the debt, on that property, the liens and everything else. And that's critical information for your final decision. 24 hours, anywhere from about $60 to $150, depending on if they have to physically drive to the courthouse or they can do everything online. Okay, that ends that section. Now, bankruptcy section. In the original one, I have my overview of the bankruptcy and some websites and information. What I've done is I've picked up a lot more information on bankruptcy, and I've included it in this section, and a good little question and a breakdown between chapters 13 and chapter 17 bankruptcy. So it's a great overview document. That was, 13 and 7. That wasn't in the original packages when we first started the training. That was something that was shared with me from another source, and so I added it into the program. And it's something we will be doing as we grow our program. I'll keep you updated if we make changes to this information.
Was this in an original is this separate from the original attachments and documents, or was it revised?
This one is totally revised. The first couple pages were in your original package. All the following pages are brand new information.
What was the name of the document, please?
This document is section 1B, bankruptcy info -overview. So bankruptcies, don't be afraid of them. They can actually, they're worked out and they're making payments under their workout agreement. It's just like a performing note. If they default on making their payments, you step right in and foreclose once there's a workout determined by the court.
This is just a basic overview, right?
Yes.
You don't have it broken down by state?
No.
Okay.
No.
There's also a website out there that breaks it down by state. I don't know it off the top of my
All
head.
right,
but
well,
I can
actually,
check.
let me get to see if it's the same website.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring up a website shortly in the next document.
If it isn't, just email it to us.
Yeah, that'd be great. So you can see there's a lot of information here about this, and it's a generic, so it's not state specific, and of course, they changed the rules, but it gives you a good overview and understanding of the differences. So we're gonna drop out of this. All right, 1C. 1C is our resources, and in 1C, the very first one is a new one that we've added since you had this package before, and I'm gonna bring it up, and this is the stop foreclosure. Drop back. And it actually lists out the states, and this is information on foreclosure laws by state. So let's pick up, we just picked up, let me do Virginia this time. Clicked on Virginia, typical Virginia foreclosure period, approximately 60 days. It's judicial and non-judicial. Types of security instruments, but then they go into more detail on it. Virginia's pretty simple. Some of the pages on here are 4 or 5 pages of detail because each state has written different laws and you have to meet different requirements. We were just into, I just did Missouri, and Missouri had judicial, non-judicial. It depends on how your mortgage loan is written. And you have to go in and that. So there's a lot of good information, because just in the terms of your mortgage agreement will determine which way you have to file.
Do we have a preference if, you know, like from our note group standpoint?
No.
Which one maybe?
We prefer
better?
non-judicial,
Non-judicial.
because it's faster and less expensive from that standpoint. But again, by state, it determines which way you go, and also in a state, you can go both ways. So it depends
And
upon-
both ways depends on how the mortgage is written, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just
and,
saying that.
and when you're going through a pool, you should just have this website open, so you can just go through those listings.
You can click up quickly.
Yep.
Okay? So, that's the resource section, so there was a couple little things added to it on the website. It's a lot of good information, and that's in your late nights when you can't sleep. Okay. All right. Section 2, product resources. We list out here, as we talked about, different resources where you can find notes. You will see now that we have added Fortitude investments to that list. We have a couple others on this list. We will be expanding that. There are some other ones that we are aware of, we just have not updated. And as we update this, we will send you an updated version. And it includes, you know, their website, so you can click right on it and go right out and find them quickly. There's a lot of stuff out there. We kind of take a look at things before we're going to put it in our documents and that. But we'll have more resources for notes in this package as we grow.
Do you
Yes.
provide a summary of your experience with the various vendors or whatsoever? Like, they're good with this, they're not good with this, I wouldn't.
There are a
They
couple
throw junk.
vendors we put in some positive comments towards. We don't normally write something negative.
Understand.
Okay, because these could go out into the general public, and
Right.
that could be an issue. But we do have some vendors we use, and we will put in positive remarks about some of the servicers. The sources are primarily in no buying. The seller wants to sell it for the highest possible price, the buyer wants to buy it for the lowest possible price. It's always the buyer beware, and the buyer needs to do their due diligence. But as far as, you know, who's gonna treat you good or bad, it depends on who you get on the phone each day sometimes.
I would say if you're concerned with certain sources, I know all the legitimate sources in the industry. So you could always just email me and ask me, and I'll give you. I won't write it down. You can call me and we can talk about it.
Okay.
But you know, as far as my goal in the next year is to get enough product that you won't even need to go to other sources, and that's really my goal, is to build out. You know, the one thing that I'm doing with product right now is all the sources that have this stuff, they're getting product from random people out in the middle of nowhere, and you know, basically they go out and they have a database. They send out 1,000 people. If you want to sell notes, come to us. I'm doing the opposite. I'm actually going to Wall Street and saying to bigger hedge fund. I was in the hedge fund business for 10 years, so
Okay.
bigger hedge funds. I'm going to them right now, and some of them are starting to become very interested. I'm going to them and saying, listen, you own 10,000 notes. Give me the 20% that you don't want, and let me go out and sell them. That's not saying they're bad notes. That just
Right.
means that it doesn't fit into their risk parameters. Real hedge funds, we're not talking about. I wouldn't consider Gemini or us a real hedge fund. I consider a real hedge fund that has $100 million or more in assets. They are not looking to make 25%